Welcome back to our one-on-one interview with Dr. Daniel Pipes, Director of the Middle East Forum. The question I had before the break, we're addressing now. So far, how has Israel been faring with global attacks from the psychological point of view, the public relations point of view?
Israel is attacked in more ways than any other country in the world and perhaps any other country in history. Let me just enumerate. Weapons of mass destruction loom, not attack yet, but they're loom, especially in Iran, but also in Syria. Conventional weapons, conventional armies, especially in Egypt. Terrorism, PLO, Fatah, Hamas, Hezbollah, Islamic Jihad. So there are three violent ways, and then there are three non-violent ways. Boycott, economic boycott, not terribly important these days. Demographics, people going into Israel and changing the balance. And finally, ideological warfare. And the Israelis have proven themselves very adept at defending themselves militarily. They've proven themselves good at economics and demographics. The one area where they're really failing is ideological. They're losing hearts and minds. They're losing hearts and minds in Israel itself even. The accusation boils down to Zionism is a 19th century solution to a 21st century problem. It's out of date. And they haven't figured out how to answer that. And they're doing badly. And they're not taking it too seriously. And they're losing Israelis, not to speak of non-Israelis, who are agreeing, saying, yeah, you're right. This is not the Zionist dream, the state of Israel as it now exists, is not an appropriate response to today's issues. It should be a state of its citizens, it should be a binational state, it should be a one state, you name it, different people have different ideas. But they don't accept the state of Israel as it now is. And this is major, and it's getting bigger. And the Israelis so far have not found an answer to it.
What could they be doing better?
Well, they could understand what the nature, first of all, they can put more resources and attention to this and answer it and say why Israel is, in fact, a legitimate, positive development. In other words, their view is, we exist, get out of our hair. We don't feel we have to justify ourselves. And I would suggest to them they do need to justify themselves. That there are serious questions by serious people. My best example is a former speaker of the Israeli parliament and the head of the Jewish agency, an establishment figure named Avraham Borg, who flipped and renounced his Israeli citizenship, so far as I know, and lives in France and believes that Israel shouldn't exist as it currently does. Well, that, if you get to someone at the heart of the Israeli establishment, a mature politician, to change his views in that kind of radical way, then you've really got a problem. And they have a problem.
Israel has also traditionally depended on the states as a major supporter. With what we've been seeing with the Obama administration, there have been a lot of red flags raised. First of all, Obama just had a meeting with Netanyahu, but the one before that, when Netanyahu was snubbed, that raised a lot of red flags. People have been questioning, is the United States a big supporter?
There are two factions in the Obama administration. One says, if you want to get what you want from the Israelis, be nice to them and give them encouragement. The other one says, pick a fight with them. The pick a fight faction has a couple of times already prevailed and a couple of times failed. And it looks like, judging by that meeting you just mentioned between Obama and Netanyahu, it looks like the Be Nice to Israel faction has prevailed. Now, I can't promise you it's permanent, but it looks like that's the way they're going. And so it looks like we're back to more or less politics as usual, such as you had under George W. Bush or Bill Clinton, which is having good relations with it. There are arguments between Democrats and Republicans. Who's the better friend of Israel, Clinton or Bush? That is not an issue with Obama. No one would argue he's the best friend of Israel, but he's going in that direction. He's finding that that's more productive for his own purposes. So I think you'll find less strain in the future.
You've made it very clear on some of the strategies needed where Israel is concerned. Looking at the West, particularly our continent, North America, what can we be doing better to close on a positive note, hopefully, to stem this flow that we're seeing of Islamism, particularly considering the power of the internet on the younger minds?
I think the important thing is to reach out to the liberals and the leftists and say, you should not be sympathetic to radical Islam. This is anathema to what you believe in, from women's rights to the political order, this human, freedom of conscience and so forth. This is totally against what you believe in. Stop opening doors for them. Stop allying with them. That, I think, is the key. If we generally agree that Islamism is a problem, then it will be much less of a problem. But unfortunately, we're divided now. And so one of my priorities is figuring out ways to convince liberals and leftists that these people are not your friends. And should they come ever to power, watch what happened, for example, in Iran, where they cut your throats. You're dead. So be more worried, please, about this phenomenon.
And your website is danielpipes.org?
It is indeed.
Wow. Daniel, it's been great interviewing you this hour.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing so much information with us. It was a privilege. That's all the time we have for today. See you again next time. I'm Christine Williams, and from all of us, thank you for watching.
If you wish to make a comment or have a question, please send your email to ontheline@ctstv.com.